This episode of Pool Magazine podcast is brought to you by BeatBot, the future of robotic pool cleaning. BeatBot's powerful cordless robots are designed to tackle every corner of the swimming pool with precision, using advanced navigation, smart sensors, and ultra-efficient suction. With easy app controls and high-tech features, it's never been easier to keep your pool crystal clear. No cords, no hoses, no hassle. Discover why more pool owners and pool pros are making the switch at beatbot.com.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Joe Trusty, and today I'm chatting with Alexa Dal Pino, award-winning pool builder and owner of Dal Pino Quality Pools in Auburn, California. It's a pleasure to have you with us today on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
You know, Alexa, for anybody who hasn't met you yet, can you give our listeners a little insight as to your background, the Dal Pino story, and how you wound up running one of the most well-respected pool construction companies in Northern California?
Sure. Basically, I grew up around pools, literally. Dal Pino Quality Pools was founded in 1980 by my parents, Dick and Carol Dal Pino, and they had a focus on craftsmanship, integrity, and really focused on treating every client like a friend. So from a very young age, I was often helping out, learning about the business. Needless to say, my first job was in the pool industry. I really appreciated how they made people's dreams turn into reality. So after college, I knew that I wanted to continue that legacy and make it my professional career. In 2012, when I had the opportunity to, I took over the reins, fully embraced blending the values that my parents had founded the company on with some newer modern construction practices and design approaches. So that's kind of where we came from.
Sure. I mean, when you took over, what were some of the big things you said, yeah, this has to stay the same? And what were some of the things that you wanted to change immediately now that you were running the show?
Taking over Dal Pino Quality Pools was really about balancing that legacy with a vision towards the future. There were things I knew had to stay the same. For example, our commitment to craftsmanship, our commitment to client relationships, and the culture we created within our team. So those were the core values in my mind were non-negotiable and were going to be preserved. At the same time, I made the deliberate changes to modernize and improve some aspects of our work. Through Genesis education program, we shifted our focus on design to explore more new materials, kind of create a new perspective to the design process. On the construction side, we refined some of our hydraulic designs, updated some of the materials that we were using, and implemented some new construction methods for better structural integrity. And then ultimately, in keeping with the heart of the Dal Pino Pools vision and what makes us unique, we've been just combining those proven values with some modern twists that have allowed us to innovate and move forward.
You know, second gen businesses can get stuck in their ways, and clearly your organization did. I mean, what are some of the things that you felt were important to modernize right out of the gate in terms of the way you run the business today from a construction standpoint or from an operations standpoint?
Well, second generation does have its challenges. Initially, my focus was on modernizing how we approached the designs. It wasn't so much just about creating a digital plan or a 3D image like we had been focused on in the years prior to my taking over. It was more about focusing on collaborating with clients. So the initial design conversations became longer and more in-depth to learn about our clients, their family, their lifestyles, what they were looking for. We also created some design homework as a package to help guide them through the initial process for building a swimming pool. And our design presentation transitioned into a real-time collaboration. So when we meet with clients at our office, we'll walk through the project, make real-time adjustments, all within our 3D software, but we take advantage of all of the advanced design courses that I've participated in so that we can kind of think beyond the pool and consider architectural styles, lifestyle needs, kind of the overall backyard experience. And then for modernization, that isn't necessarily something I would say is kind of a one-time event. It's ongoing. So recently we introduced a project portal that streamlines communications and keeps our team, the subcontractors, clients, everybody on the same page. We also have continuing education that focuses on not only design, but also construction, new equipment, learning about what's coming out, what the new innovations are that we might want to integrate into our business. So those are all ongoing activities to keep us up with the current times. Even the design room that we have has been evolving to feature larger selections and more contemporary materials. So we change and innovate continually to be able to provide superior craftsmanship and a better experience for our clients.
Well, let me throw you a bit of a curveball, Alexa. What's one of the hardest lessons you've learned as a business owner in this industry?
Oh, that's a very emotionally charged question. The hardest lesson that I learned as a business owner is that no matter how much you plan and you think that you're ready for something unexpected, there are things that will happen that you can't really fully prepare for. For us, it wasn't a crisis as far as the market crash or material shortages. It was a lot more personal. In 2019, we were in the height of our building season and set to have the best year since the recession. And unexpectedly, our supervisor, Ray, who had been with us for a little over 15 years, passed away. So that was definitely a curveball that we didn't anticipate. Thankfully, we did have a couple of things going for us that set us up to survive and overcome the situation. So our culture and our commitment to education were our two foundations that allowed us to cope with this unexpected tragedy. So our team supported each other through the grief. We continued to treat each project as if it was our own for a neighbor or a family friend. I remember the morning after his passing, I was out on the road at 6 a.m. to meet our gunite crew at a project. And with the box of Kleenex riding shotgun, I figured out how to break the news to them because we were all a close-knit team, even though they were subcontractors. They'd worked with us for years. The good side is we had invested in education so that everyone on our team understood kind of the fundamentals of construction and could step up when it mattered most. It also taught me personally as a business owner that having a strong foundation of culture, training, and trust within your team is what can allow a business to not just survive something unthinkable like that, but allowed us to come back out stronger. So today we continue to honor Ray by continuing to train every team member every year, because having the ability to pivot is more than just a strategy. It's really how a business can survive when things like that happen.
You know, that really is a hard lesson, Alexa. I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people in the industry. You lose a key player like that. And it's really fortunate that the rest of your team was able to step up and help fill that gap. I appreciate you sharing that. For people listening outside of California, can you maybe explain your market in the Sierra Foothills and why it's become such a strong market for the high-end pools?
Certainly. Sierra Foothills is also called the Gold Country. So we're located just east of Sacramento, kind of midway between Sacramento and Lake Tahoe, where the flat valley transitions up into the mountain ranges. It's kind of unique topography. One of the things that makes it such a strong market for high-end projects is the unique environment that draws a lot of people to the region. So Napa, Silicon Valley, they're not too far away. So when you look at the beauty and the dramatic landscape of the foothills, it draws a lot of people in. We also still have open spaces, so there is the ability to build large custom estates. And with our summers being extremely hot, it makes a pool a core necessity for that outdoor living environment. Our clients are building pools that they want to have integrate with the dramatic landscape, or if they're down in the valley and it's a more modern setting, we need to integrate into that as well. So they're investing in sophisticated custom designs. Think complex terraced yards, infinity edges, pools with strategically placed viewpoints to capture the surrounding foothills. It's a market where design is truly dedicated to the landscape.
On the flip side, Alexa, I mean, what makes this area such a tremendous challenge to build in? I mean, we see that your projects are very highly technical. Is it grade issues, rock, access, fire zones? I mean, what are the real challenges in building in this market?
Oh, okay. So the curveballs of the environment definitely keep this job interesting. No two projects are the same. I mean, there's definitely some inherently difficult components to building here. We constantly deal with complex grade issues, as you mentioned. So steep sloping yards to geological challenges like buried granite rocks, lava cap, high water tables, expansive soils, All of those can be found here in this region. When you layer in setback and easement restrictions specific to each property, that further complicates our build sites. Again, no two projects are the same, and we have to be ready to handle whatever we may find during construction. So to do that, we rely on our 45 years of experience and a deep tool bag of solutions. One of our keys is being skilled in both design and construction on slopes and having a close collaboration with our local engineers. Probably the most crucial tool, honestly, is open communication though with our clients. I often will show them photos of other projects we've done in the area to illustrate kind of a best case, worst case scenario, so they have an idea of what we might encounter during construction. And that transparency is essential to help minimize the surprises and help them feel comfortable as we move forward if we do need to pivot during the construction process.
Well, despite the challenges, this entire region has really exploded in the last 2 decades for high-end residential pools. I mean, do you think the clients are pushing the luxury level, or is it more the builders in this region that are kind of raising the bar and dragging the demand up with them?
That's kind of a chicken and egg question for our market. In our region, I think it's absolutely both, creating a powerful kind of a synergistic relationship. So building in the foothills is not a forgiving environment. That demands that you understand the climate and the topography so that you can construct a durable, long-lasting pool. You must also have an unwavering focus on craftsmanship to make that happen. We live by the saying that good work is rarely cheap, and that the foundation and quality is what enables us to take on these complex designs that we're doing today. So it's raising the bar on the builder side to use solid construction practices. Simultaneously, though, our clients are coming to us requesting features that they've either seen in magazines or when they're away on vacation. So they're pushing the envelope of what's possible in these challenging construction sites. This environment creates a combination where the clients and the builders are pushing each other to achieve new levels of luxury and complexity. So the whole market is kind of elevating itself simultaneously from different aspects.
You got a tight machine over there and aren't shy about taking on projects that are really, really challenging. I mean, tell me about your team. Who are the people that are making these complex builds possible behind the scenes?
Okay, that's one of my favorite questions, and we probably don't have enough time to give them the recognition that they all deserve. Our team is not just a collection of employees and subcontractors. It's a carefully curated group of individuals and companies who specialize and, more importantly, excel in both the technical execution of what they do and also a high level of customer service. So we're a small, tight-knit operation. Some of our team members have been working with us for over 30 years, and we're now even seeing multiple generations of our partners as the younger generation of tradespeople is moving up. So while we do use subcontractors, I like to say that it's the same set of skilled hands that do every project. Even though we have subs, it's their same crews for all of our projects. The company culture of loyalty, respect, and support is also really evident in our low employee turnover and those deep relationships that allow us to have a very positive, collaborative approach to our work. When you work together for that long, through thick and thin, you genuinely become a well-oiled machine that's capable of handling any challenge that a project might throw at us.
Well, tell me, Alexa, what do you feel are the most important things that help differentiate you from other builders in your local area?
Ooh, that's $1 million question for any custom builder. I think I would say there's 3 key factors that set us apart locally. First is education and design expertise. Most of our competitors rely heavily on a sales force, where we made a shift years ago to have me personally handle the design and sales portion of the projects. My extensive education, particularly through Genesis and Watershape University, allows us to blend engineering, hydraulics, and high aesthetics in a way a typical salesperson simply can't. This results in truly meaningful, technically sound designs that stand the test of time while also meeting all of our clients' wish list items. The second is unwavering craftsmanship and longevity. So as we discussed, building in the Sierra Foothills demands durability. We've been operating on the principle of a reputation to build on for 45 years. That means we don't cut corners. We use the same skilled team for every project, some of whom have been with us for decades. And this ensures consistent high-end quality regardless of a project size. So small or large, it all gets the same level of attention to detail. And finally, there's client transparency. We build complex projects in tough environments, and open communication is crucial. So we bring in our clients into the process early on and try and show them what to expect throughout the construction of their pool in their backyard living environment. And that way, when we encounter challenges during construction, it's not really a surprise. It's just, let's talk through and find a shared solution, and then we can move forward smoothly.
Well, you're kind of the go-to builder out here in the Auburn area and the Sierra Foothills. What's something that you figured out over the years that made your jobs instantly smoother?
Just one. Okay. One of the biggest things that we've learned over the years is clear and consistent communication makes everything run smoother. So for us, that meant building a system that keeps everyone, team, our subcontractors, and our clients all aligned from start to finish. So we rely on a mix of detailed construction plans, in-person meetings at the job site, and more recently, our project portal, which organizes all the updates, documents, change orders, and conversations in one place. So gone are the days of digging through old emails or wondering who said what when we were meeting on site. Once we combined those tools together, accurate plans, the face-to-face communication, and the centralized hub, our projects became noticeably more efficient. Issues were resolved a lot faster, and the whole process felt smoother for everybody involved.
Well, let's talk about some of the type of work you do. What are a couple of the projects that really pushed your creativity and engineering skills?
So creativity was probably a pool and spa combination that had a very extensive wish list. It was a multi-generational family that spent a lot of time together. So we needed to have activities for kids for a wide age group, as well as adults and grandparents. So we combined Cabo ledge for lounging and chairs with a dramatic slide and waterfall that incorporated a jump rock. An interesting side note on that is over the years on the waterfall, the family, as they have taken trips to different national parks, they have brought back a stone from different trips and added it to the waterfall. So now when they look at the waterfall, they can point out the different rocks and say, hey, that's one we picked up at this park on this trip. Here's one that we gathered on a different trip. And so they've really kind of woven the outdoor living space into part of the fabric that tells their family's stories and has become a very integral part of their lifestyle. So it was unique in that we were able to work a lot of different features into this one project. And yet when you look at the backyard living space, it just flows together, it works together, and you don't really see all of the logistics that played into the design to make it all happen. The other one is a project where you would really have to see the before and after to understand exactly how much work we did in this backyard. When we first met with the homeowners, they had a very narrow backyard with a crooked barbecue that was built in back there by the previous owners and a rockery retaining wall that was holding up the hillside. And they thought that they had this very small space that they could build a pool, and it would basically be pool and no deck because of this retaining wall. And when we met with them, we looked at the setbacks and easements on the property and discovered that the retaining wall and the drainage could all be moved further back into the yard. So on this project, we actually took down and moved the rockery wall back about 15 feet into the yard to create space for the pool and spa. And then to help maximize the use of space, the pool and spa were designed so that the back wall acted as the retaining wall for the slope. we made it look as though it was part of the design and not something that was necessary for the space to function. To do that, we incorporated tile mosaics, water features, fire features, landscape lighting, so that basically it felt like the wall that was there for a function was actually more of a design element. So we really recreated the backyard space and gave them an outdoor living space where previously they had none. And we even had enough room to integrate a small outdoor cook area and kitchen and a equipment enclosure that, unless you know what you're looking at, you don't even realize that it's sitting there visible in the backyard because it was integrated into the design as it was.
I'm on your website right now looking at the two jobs that we just spoke about, very emblematic of the area that we live in. And yeah, two beautiful projects, PHTA Awards of Excellence winners. You got a bunch of those here on the website as well. And your award-winning pools are just eye-dropping and really breathtaking, Alexa.
Thank you.
Well, you're involved in a lot of the different groups. You mentioned Genesis, Watershape U, PHTA. I mean, from your peers, what's the thing that you hear the most? What do other builders or subs compliment you guys about?
I think what I hear the most from the builders we work with and subcontractors is that we are organized and easy to work with. They appreciate that we show up with detailed plans, we have clear expectations, we discuss the schedule and collaborate on that so that it makes sense for all of the different teams, and our projects run smoothly because communication is consistent. So whether that's through the project portal, site meetings, phone calls, we try and be available when someone needs a quick answer. We also hear a lot about our team culture. So subs and even manufacturers reps will tell us how our crews are not only respectful of the job site, but they're collaborative and genuinely care about what we're doing and doing things the right way. That combination of organization and communication and a team that takes pride in their work makes us a partner people enjoy working with, and ultimately leads to a better result for our clients.
Well, I live in Pilot Hill. That's smack dab between El Dorado Hills and your market in Auburn. I mean, where do you see the NorCal luxury market heading? Do you see the same things I do? I'm curious because there's a lot of new homes being built in this area, and it feels like we're only scratching the surface here in terms of demand.
I think that in general, the Northern California luxury market is only going to continue growing, especially with the number of new homes being built and the shift in how people are using their outdoor spaces. What I've seen is homeowners aren't just asking for a pool anymore. They're looking for a full outdoor living environment that matches the architecture of the home and also supports their lifestyle. We're seeing more interest in high-end materials, integrated technology, efficient equipment, and an integration of wellness with their indoor and outdoor living spaces. Clients want resorts in their backyard. They're willing to invest in the quality and customization to get that. So from my perspective, I think we're on an uphill swing as people continue to prioritize the comfort and wellness, entertaining at home, and are demanding more thoughtfully designed luxury outdoor living spaces. I think the growth is only going to accelerate.
I agree. I mean, what's next on the horizon for Dal Pino Quality Pools? Are there any new projects you're excited to work on in 2026?
2025 has been a very good year for us. 2026, I think, is going to be even better. We're currently focused on elevating both our design capabilities and the client experience. Part of that is celebrating our 20th year here at our current location. So we're doing a little refresh on our facilities with some renovation projects planned. And that includes expanding our design tools and material library so that clients can visualize their space more clearly and explore some different options. We also have several exciting projects coming up, everything from luxury new builds with full outdoor living environments to some very unique remodel renovation projects where we're going to transform some older pools into more modern functional spaces that have been tailored to the family's current lifestyle. And internally, do what we always do as far as investing in advanced training for our team and continuing education for everybody so that we are ready for the next wave of innovation.
Well, Alexa, great getting an introduction to you and your team and some of the work you're doing. We'll be highlighting in the next issue of Pool Magazine. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us today. Really enjoyed our conversation.
Well, thank you for having us here and letting us tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do.
Well, that's all the time that we have left for today. Make sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast.
This episode of Pool Magazine Podcast is brought to you by BeatBot, the future of robotic pool cleaning. BeatBot's powerful cordless robots are designed to tackle every corner of the swimming pool with precision, using advanced navigation, smart sensors, and ultra-efficient suction. With easy app controls and high-tech features, it's never been easier to keep your pool crystal clear. No cords, no hoses, no hassle. Discover why more pool owners and pool pros are making the switch at BeatBot.com.